Hey Grace, this is Ted Taplett, leader of the Young Adults group. It's great to be with you again, doing another one of these encouragement videos. I think in the last video I mentioned that I've got a couple of kids. I've got a son, Oliver, he's 4, and a daughter, Lily, who's 2. And sometimes watching my kids play is a little bit like watching a cat play with a mouse. And not like in a totally bad way. Like, I don't know what you think is going through a cat's head when he plays with a mouse. In my mind, the cat, as far as he's concerned, he thinks the mouse is having just as much fun as he is. And I think that's a little bit what it's like for Oliver to play with Lily. The other day, I was in the kitchen making some breakfast, and my kids were wrestling around, having a good time. They happened to be in the entry of the house. And it occurred to me at a certain point that it had been about 15 seconds since I had heard Lily make any noise. Oliver was still making a lot of noise, but I hadn't heard Lily in a little while. So, of course, I peeked my head around the corner, and I saw that the reason why Lily hadn't made any noise was because Oliver was sitting on her, and she couldn't breathe. So these things happen time to time. You know, if you're a parent, I'm sure you've had those kinds of experiences too. But one of the biggest challenges for us, me and my wife, is just to constantly be talking to Oliver about how he is stronger than Lily, but he doesn't always know his own strength. And so just to be aware of that and to realize how his actions impact somebody else. There's a psalm that talks about the relationship of the strong to the weak. It's Psalm 41, verse 1 says, "Blessed are those who have regard for the weak. The Lord delivers them in times of trouble." I think one of the unique things about the time that we're living in right now is that the boundary lines between the strong and the weak have just been suddenly and dramatically redrawn. The virus has affected everybody, but it hasn't affected us all equally. Those who are old, those who are sick, those who've lost their jobs or had their hours cut, they've clearly been affected way, way more dramatically than those of us who maybe were young and healthy and financially stable. And the result of all that, and the danger I think that comes up, is that those of us who find ourselves in positions of power, positions of strength, can not always be aware of the way that our actions impact people around us. I don't know how many young people I've heard say, "Hey, I'm young, I'm healthy, this whole thing probably isn't going to affect me, so I'm going to go out and do all the things that I was doing already, maybe ignore social distancing guidelines, and just do my thing because it's probably not going to affect me that much." Or on the other side of the coin, maybe those of us who are economically stable, we haven't had our jobs threatened or income threatened. I think it's pretty easy just to kind of lose sight and not be too conscious or aware of the pain that is going on all around us for those that have lost their jobs or had their hours cut or whatever that is. So my encouragement to you, if you're reading this or watching this morning, is really simple. Would you be mindful of those who are around you and the way that your interactions and inactions impact them? So maybe, if you're young and healthy like me, maybe what that means is being willing to observe social distancing guidelines that sometimes you find overly restrictive and maybe, I don't know what adjective you'd use, stupid, dumb, too controlling, but being willing to observe those for the sake of people that you may not even know and you may never even meet, but who'd be impacted if the virus spread more quickly. Maybe, if you're financially well off and stable, that means helping out somebody who's in a tight pinch. And whatever it looks like for you. I think the promise from Psalm 41 is really clear, that when those of us who are strong have regard for the weak, that God will be there for us when we're in times of distress and trouble as well. So thanks guys, thanks for letting me share. Great to be with you, and have a great day.